give you again a brief idea about the course. Okay. CPP, under the CPP, you are going to learn introduction to purchasing, the procurement planning, and procurement methods, negotiation strategy, contracts, and source of supply, solicitations, supply ratings, international sourcing, purchasing and strategic development, and purchasing management, strategic management, and purchasing and consulting. So these are the contents of your course. Okay, this is what we are going to learn under this program. So in the previous class, actually after CPP, you can continue with your CPPM. This is the next program. So once you have completed CPP, you can go for CPPM. After that, you are going to learn about management and HRM and strategic supply chain management. Everything together, you are going to learn. Okay. So this is all about the program. And in the first class, I discussed about introduction to purchasing. Under these subjects, we have understood about overall procurement process. When you look at this procurement, we have to identify the needs of the customer. Okay, according to the customer requirements, we are going to bring the raw material. Yeah, and once you have identified the customer needs and their wants and their problems, you are going to solve their problems. You are going to fulfill their needs and wants. In order to fulfill their needs and wants, you have to identify the raw materials you are going to make for when you are creating a product, when you are producing or manufacturing a product. At the time you need raw materials. These raw materials to be purchased. So you have to go for the procurement process. So there will be a certain specifications, terms of references are there. Statement of work is there, and then you are going to choose a proper procurement method for purchasing, and then you are going to have some documentations, and then you have to clarify the the supplier, then evaluate the offers, what is the offers are they are having, and shortlisting. And then you are going to shortlist what those who have already been shortlisted. And these people will be negotiated and then awarded, contract will be awarded. Then there will be management of the contract. Then you are going to evaluate the procurement process, yeah, how things work. So this is what we are going to hear. So before that, I would like to hear from you because I don't know your background and all. So could you please kindly talk a little more about you? Then it will be good for me, and then everybody can understand each other. Then we can work together. Yeah. So first of all, let me introduce. I am Mohideen from Sri Lanka. I have been teaching and coaching business management, marketing, HR, supply chain, procurement, and logistics. So all the subjects here for more than a year, and I have experience in multinational companies in McDonald's working 9.5 years. And also worked in projects as a project officer, project logistics and procurement. Also here. Actually, I have experience in teaching more than 20 years. So I have been trained by Cambridge for teaching, especially the English. This is a subject of business, right? So I have MBA, Master of Business Administration General, and also postgraduate diploma in Human Resource Management. Right, so I have taught CPP here more than 3 batches. Now that I think the 4th batch you are. So I have experience in all the subjects. If you are going to produce something, you need raw materials. So the raw materials can be direct materials or indirect materials, or it can be a service. Like if you are going to produce a car or manufacture car, there are direct materials, indirect materials, services are connected. So in the process of getting these direct, indirect materials and services, you have to go for procurement process. So that's what we have already discussed earlier. So according to the chain, you are going to go for. Okay, and when you look at this procurement, actually there are certain strategies connected to the procurement. Yeah, how procurement strategies link to overall corporate strategy. The business having a strategy. According to the business strategy, you are going to bring your procurement strategy. Example, if your organization wants to grow, right? If you want to develop your take the business to international level or take the business everywhere in the region. So you're going to bring the product, you're going to produce more, a lot. So at the time, so according to the expansions of the business, you are going to go for the procurement. So you have to buy the materials, you have to do the procurement process, everything in a bulk purchase. So you have to go for a certain process. So there are certain benefits also there. So you have to go according to the business strategy. That is procurement strategy is connected. And strategic sourcing, you have to identify the supplier, the systematic method to the systematic method. And also procurement process, you are going to have certain activities under this procurement process and supply management. Once you have identified your supplier, you have to deal with the supplier and manage with them, have a very good relationship with them, and then this relationship and communication and the coordination you have with this supplier, that will make a stronger relationship, and that will help your organization to achieve the competitive advantage. And the information management, you have to deal with the supplier and the organization. And in the organization wise, you are going to organize everything in the procurement process. You have to organize and resource and train the people who are dealing with procurement. And performance management, which is connected with the people who are dealing with the procurement process, everything you are going to do. So all together, everything is interconnected, interrelated, and incorporated. So you have to deal with one supply management and strategic sourcing, purchasing process, performance management, procurement strategy. These things, everything is interconnected. So you have to deal with the process. When you're dealing with the strategic sourcing, there are certain things you have to deal. Especially, you have to identify the supplier, the person who wants, and then you are going to deal with, identify the risk and analyze and manage the demand, define the sourcing and qualify the supplier, and negotiate and manage the contracts. And then when you are dealing with procurement operations, at the time you have to identify the need and create requisition, purchase requisitions, and get the approval, and then go for purchase order. And then you coordinate the delivery and receive the goods. So once you have received the goods, PRM, and based on that, you are going to go for payment. So authorizing the payment and settlement. So that is the procurement operations. And vendor management, so that is the relationship management, that you are going to have with supply. So you are going to have the supplier you have identified, and then you have to have the relationship with them, and you have to define the performance expectation, manage the supplier risk and the compliances, manage their performance, and assess the relationship. So everything connected with this. So we have already discussed about supplier. Basically the supply things. Procurement is one area which is connected with the raw materials. You are going to have the raw materials supply. But if you take the supply chain, supply is one of the area. Supply is one of the area. Production is the other area, and distribution another area. So you are going to deal with everything. So supply, you are going to deal with the supplier, and you are going to deal with the production. You are going to do the distribution. And when you're dealing with the distribution, you are going to go for agents, wholesalers, and retailers. And then finally, you are going to maintain a customer relationship management customer. So all together, from raw material to end customer. So all this line, this chain is called supply chain. Okay. Under supply chain, one area is procurement, coming under supply management. Okay, supplier management. So purchasing, when you're dealing with purchasing, you have to always think about the right materials to be purchased and should be the right price. You have to identify the right supplier, and they have to deliver the right time, always, and the right place. markets. So this is always to be considered. And when you are dealing with procurement, you have some objectives, you have learned about it. And buy competitively, you have to buy. According to the competition, you have to buy. And also buy wisely. Keep inventory investment and also inventory losses at the minimum level. So you don't want to get more inventory, and also you should not waste your inventory as well. And develop effective and reliable source of supply. And develop a good relationship with the supplier community and achieve the maximum integration with the partner. So there are different departments who are going to connect with the supplier. So when you identify the supplier and the supplies the procurement process, you are going to deal with the forecasting. So you are based on the forecasting. The forecasting will come from the marketing section, and also operation will be based on the forecasting. So you are going to deal with the operations. You have to ask how many you need for, and according to their quantity and quality you have to go for. And also you have to deal with the finance. There are certain rules and regulations, financial conditions are there. So you have to obey, and then you have to abide by all the rules and regulations in terms of procurement process. Yeah. And when you're dealing with purchasing, you have to always think about there will be issue when getting the products, especially raw materials, the quantity required and the quality expected, and the timely delivery at the place. So these are sometimes will be a challenging when you are dealing with supply chain, right? When you are dealing with the procurement process. So the principles of purchasing, you have to consider this is important. You have to always focusing this right quality at the right time, the right quantity and the right price. It has to be delivered at the right time, right place, and you have to identify the right source. So the supplier should bring the right quality, right quantity, at the right time, at the right price. Yeah, it has to be delivered in the right place. So these are the principles you have to deal with purchasing. And there are some threats coming when you're dealing with the supplier. So you have to identify, especially if an organization wants to win the competitions, bargaining power of supplier, you have to identify that it has to be reduced. Yeah, and then you have to get your supplier with you, and these people are going to help you in the business. And functions of purchasing departments, purchase requisitions, first thing, and then you have to go for reliability of the supply locations, and also purchasing order. So you have to deal with that. There are certain methods of purchasing according to the requirement, purchasing for some definite purpose, period, market purchasing, speculative purchasing, contract purchasing, and schedule purchasing. I think